So about a year ago, I did a video on how to get approved for your first credit card. You want to check that video out. I'll put that in the description. Make sure you check that out because this goes definitely with this video. So check that video out after you see this one. Today's video is going to be for anybody who just really wants to know how to get approved for any credit card. Okay, so let's get right into this video. Let's see if that's even possible to get approved for any credit card. Let's get right into this video. Now, I'm going to be straight to the point. I'm a very straight to the point type of person. I don't like to waste time. There is not a possibility to be approved for any and every credit card. I am so close to 800, I can touch it. Now, I'm not that tall, but if I was tall, I could touch it. Actually, I could still touch it and I'm short, okay? I'm so close to an 800 credit score, and it's not to brag at all, because we've all been in a place where we were ghost credit, which means you have none and you're trying to establish. You've had some hiccups and maybe you're in the fours, the fives, the threes, the low sixes, or if you just want to improve your score. We've all been somewhere and we can always get back to there. So it's not to brag that I'm almost at 800. That's just to say, no matter what you have or who you are, it's never a 100% pull through rate with these credit card companies. I did a video a couple months ago. I was declined for Capital One card because I had too many credit card accounts open within the last, I think, 24 months. Which was ridiculous. But because all my utilization is crazy, I don't have any delinquencies, collections. It's never been, in my history, and I'm thankful for that because, people have those situations and I haven't had those. I've been blessed enough not to have those in my lifetime. So, even if the credit score is not the issue, these banks are getting more risky, less risky. They're getting really savvy, they're getting really strict, and they really want to make sure that you have their best interest. A lot of travel hacking happens and things like that. So they're really getting smarter and savvier as time goes on. So it's not always about your credit score. Sometimes it's about maybe they just don't like you've had too many credit cards in the last 24 months, or maybe you have too many inquiries in the last X amount of time. It really depends, but again, that just goes to show you that's not possible. I really don't care what the other YouTubers tell you, and I love my friends, my other fellow YouTubers that educate, but there are some out there that are saying you can get approved for any credit card in the world if you do this right now, if you do this for 5 minutes, if you do this, that's not possible. It's not. And if it is, YouTubers, and you're watching this video, let's have a discussion. Put it down in the comments so we all can have a discussion about it. Let's see who's right, let's see who's wrong. I love my viewers, I love my subs, and I want to give them accurate information. Not possible to get approved for every credit card unless you are Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect, and nobody here is perfect, okay? So let's just scratch that out right now. But I will show you in this video a couple of tips on how to make sure your pull-through rate is as high as it can be or even better. And I'm going to also call in for my fellow YouTubers and my fellow credit experts who I talk to on a daily basis. I've had the opportunity to speak to hundreds and hundreds of people to definitely put your opinions, put your facts, put your experiences in the comments below. We are a community. We help each other here. All right. So let's get into number one on what I think is good for you to really make sure your pull-through rate with the credit card is going to be awesome. Number one is to know your score. Know what your credit score is. Know what your report is. What's more important than a score is your report. A lot of people say, hey, I got a 700 credit score. That's awesome. But what does your report look like? Is it flimsy? Is it, very short? You can have a 700 credit score and be denied for something because you only have 7-8 months of credit history. All right. Or maybe you were an authorized user and you've never really actually had anything in your name per se besides the authorized user account. So know your credit score, know your credit report. If you know there are things, and again, you can get your credit report every year for free. I'll give you guys a screenshot of the website right here. You can definitely go ahead and get your credit report. You can get your credit score from, some banks. Credit Karma is a good one. Credit Karma doesn't give you your accurate one. It gives you maybe a good estimate. I would say maybe take 10 to 20 points off of it, and that may be your score. Maybe even closer than that, but I say a good 10 to 20 points to have a score, just to get an estimate of where your score is so you know how to improve. You can't get anything or know how to improve if you don't know where you are. And you got to be real with yourself, and so that's number one, making sure you know your score. Know your credit report too. Your credit report is super important. Your score means nothing if your history does not back it up. Keep that in mind. Perfect example, 700 credit score, 8 months in, but you have nothing else. You have no other established accounts, or you just haven't been established long enough. Maybe you just haven't had time to fail. They want to see longevity. These credit companies, they want to see longevity with you. They want to make sure you are trusted, not just for 8 months, not just for a year, a couple years, 5, 10, 15. The longer your history, the better. So your score is important, but your report is even more important. If you are somewhere where you know maybe getting a credit card is just not possible right now, this is still number one. Maybe some credit repair. Maybe, if you have some collections, things like that, you maybe want to get off your report to really improve your pull-through rate. Collections, bankruptcies, things of that nature, medical bills, whatever it is, you really want to make sure you get those things taken off. So maybe disputing those things, paying them to get them removed. You don't just want to pay them because that doesn't help you, but that's another video for another time. But pay to get those removed off of your credit report. Things of that nature to really help you with your credit score. And those things coming off will obviously get your score higher. All right, so you definitely want to make sure if you are not where you want to be, if you're in the 4s or something like that, or maybe 5s, and you're just not where you want to be, or there's a certain card you want. Sorry about that noise. It's like a truck or something. But if there's a certain card you want and you're just not there, make sure you're helping your report by paying things off to get them removed, disputing them if they're not accurate, things of that nature. All right, so let's get into step number 2 on how to make sure this pull-through rate is good for you. After your credit is where you want to be as far as your report is concerned, you want to make sure we are now building. We're rebuilding, we're building. This is easy. Pay your bills on time. Pay them on time. That's even if you have to set up auto payment because you forget. It's 2020. We all have these phones in our hands. We have these iPads in our hands. There is no excuse on not setting a reminder in your phone or on your iPad on paying your bills on time, maybe having a notepad. If you're old school, writing them down on a calendar, put them on your fridge, whatever you got to do. Make sure you are paying your bills on time. And also, because paying your bills on time is also, and again, I'm not talking about pay your cell phone bill because that doesn't help your report. I'm talking about paying your credit card bills, paying your mortgage, your loans, your car insurance. I'm sorry, your car note, not your car insurance, your car note. Things like that, things that are reported on a monthly basis to the credit bureaus. Make sure you are paying those things on time. Also, when it comes to credit cards and things like that, make sure your utilization is below 20 to 10%. Everybody says the typical is 30%. I always suggest people to be better than average. If you're in a room full of average people, who's going to stand out if y'all all average? Nobody. The person who's above average is going to stand out. So I'm challenging you guys to be 20% utilization, 10% utilization. The lower to 0, the better. 1% utilization or 30% utilization. If I'm a lender, I'm going with the person who got 1% utilization. I'm going to give them better, a better chance and things like that because they show less of a risk to me. And that's my money that I'm giving to them, and I want to make sure I'm being smart. So the closer to 0, the better. 30% is a good place where you can be, but again, in a room full of average, if everybody always says 30, in a room full of average, you need to be better. 20, 10, 5, 1%. The lower to 0, the better. So again, once you've already gotten to where you want to be as far as your report is concerned, you know what your score is, you've been working on it. Now, let's pay your bills on time, make sure your utilization's low, let's build that history, all that good stuff. So now we can actually get into the point where it comes to applying. So let's get into the next step. Before we apply for anything, we have to do our research on what the bank is looking for. Some banks are more outspoken than others, and some just don't say anything. So what I mean by that is if you have a bank, and I'll give you a screenshot of a bank right here. This bank right here is telling you for this credit card, what they're typically looking for. Doesn't mean that they're going to automatically decline you because they cannot steer you. That they cannot steer you away from a product that is against so many laws when it comes to the Fair Credit Act and all that stuff, being a fair lender. So they can't tell you you're going to be declined if you're not fitting this criteria, but this is what they're looking for typically. So they're saying, hey, this is typically what our, customers have or what we're approving off of. So make sure you're doing your research when it comes to lenders, especially if there's a specific lender that you like or you maybe want to do business with. Maybe you already have a bank account with them. Call their customer service up. Sometimes they may be able to tell you what it is. Sometimes maybe on their website. Sometimes, and again, it's 2020, so the quicker for me, the better. If I can go on the website and see what the average is, okay, I know my credit score needs to be in this average to really increase my pull-through rate on getting this credit card. Know what you're applying for. Know your product. Know the bank that you're going after. Do your research. That one is very simple. Do your research once you've done the work on getting things off of report that need to be improved. Let's say you have nothing on your report. Now you've done the work on getting things on your report as far as utilization is concerned, as far as on-time payments, things like that. That third step is now we're doing our research before we go out there and make a banking decision, right? This is a big decision in our life. So now we have to see what these companies want as far as credit scores and like that. And once you've kind of been in that, let's say they're looking for 680 to 700. Okay, I see my credit score is about 720. Perfect. I'm above that now. Let's get into applying for these cards. So let's get into step number 4. Step number 4, just to be safe rather than sorry, check for pre-qualified offers. I love American Express. Their pre-qualified offers. There's actually a tab on there. If you're not a customer already, you can click pre-qualified offers, put your name, put your social. It is a soft inquiry, which means it does not affect your score. Okay, it's not a hard inquiry, it's a soft. And they'll tell you, hey, you're pre-qualified for this card, this card, this card, this card. Does not mean the cards on there you're going to be approved for. And it also doesn't mean the cards that aren't on there you won't get approved for either. So, it's pretty much saying you maybe have a better chance of getting approved for these specific cards, okay? So it's always really good to utilize that online. I believe Chase has it too, pre-qualified offers. A lot of banks have these pre-qualified offers. You put your social, you put your name, your address, all that information, and they'll give you a list of cards based off of what they pulled softly from your credit report, maybe what you're pre-qualified for. And if it happens to be one of the cards you're going for, perfect. That's increasing your pull-through rate. Now you're pre-qualified for this card. Let's actually get into step number 5. Step number 5 is applying. Okay, so making sure you've done your research. Step 1, you see where you're at, you know where you want to be. And at that point in time, you're also getting things either, again, you're improving your report, you're getting things removed, you're getting things paid to get removed. Now you're building yourself back up, or building yourself from the beginning. You're getting utilization, you're getting things, you're starting to get things in your name, maybe things like that. But now we're actually applying for stuff, right? So step number 5 is apply. And let's say you're still not getting a pull-through rate. You've been applying. You're saying, look, Walter, I've applied for things. Things is still not working, because this was me actually. I had no credit, right? And it's hard when you have no credit to get credit if you have none, right? So if you don't have any credit and you're trying to get some, the best way to do it is to get, and this is my favorite method, secure credit cards. I love secure credit cards because it's safe for you and it's safe for the bank. What a secure credit card is and how it differs from an unsecured credit card. A secure credit card is you give them a certain amount of money, all right? So let's say you are going to give me $500, and for you giving me $500, I'm now going to give you a credit card for $500. You still have to pay on it monthly. I'm going to hold your $500 for however long I choose to, typically about a year to 2 years. I'm going to monitor you very closely, see how you use the card, see if you're paying every month on time, promptly, no lates or anything like that. If you decide you don't want to pay the credit card, well, I got your $500. You're not going to get it back. Hopefully that's not the case because I really want to trust you, and I give you your money back. I give you your $500 back, and now I offer you a credit card without any collateral down, any money down. So that was my situation. I didn't have anything on my credit report, good or bad. So I had no score, and I had to go to secure credit card route. Now, again, if you feel as if you've been applying for credit cards, you have no credit history, you don't have anything in your report, you don't have bankruptcies, collections, or anything like that, skip those steps. You see where you really need to be. You've applied for some credit cards. Don't go crazy and apply for 20. If 2 or 3 credit card companies say you have no credit, they're not accepting you, this is where I stop. Secured credit card. And my favorite secured credit cards, you know, I did a video on those as well. One of my favorite secured credit cards is the Discover It secured credit card. So definitely make sure I'll put the description in the bio for you guys. It's my favorite because you get cash back still, and they match you at the end of the year, all the cash back. A lot of secured credit cards don't give you a lot of perks because you're not really established, and they want to take advantage of that. Discover still gives you that unsecured feel of letting you get cash back and then matching you all your cash back after year one. So guys, I hope these steps have helped you. I hope I did not confuse you too much. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know. My credit experts, my credit gurus, anybody, or even people who, you know, just, they're maybe not an expert in credit, but they just had life experiences, make sure you say your experience down low. I'm sure people will appreciate it. If you're new on this channel and you liked it, share, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. I'll see you guys in another video. Take care.